finally do our first ever criticize a leftist video, and I hate for it to be one of my favorites here. And I agree with him. 95% of everything else he says is Vaush. But with what I'm talking about here, I'm going to also include Hasan Piker. So there's been this thing going on in the left where I understandably, especially as a radical myself, I understand that Democrats are not economically radical enough to actually fix and absolve working class people of the difficulties that we deal with. I understand that we need more radical politicians with more, how can I say, not necessarily sound policy, but with policy of economic relief, more, social democracy, more actual like socialism, giving some rights back to the workers and giving control back to the workers, the renters, the people that are actually propping this nation up. And while at the same time I understand that Republicans are a lot worse and we can never allow them to hold power, and we should never allow them to get into office, because that leads to situations like we are in now. And what I'm going to let this play for about 5 to 7 minutes, because there's something in particular that the people on the left keep saying that is like really pissing me off. And I understand that we should be critical of the Democratic Party and their limited policy goals of like small economic reforms and stuff like that, and maybe even just not being mean or populist enough to Republicans. But I feel like no matter what Democrats did, even if they had Bernie Sanders running in the 2024 election, the more I learn about America, and a lot of people show their ass, the more that I see that Trump won for a reason. And it's not a monolithic reason where it's 100% or even 90% on the Democrats. It's not on Kamala Harris. It's on the American people, because they wanted a King Saul. You know what they say? Hard head, soft A. Let's just get into this so I can get this over with, because I don't want this to go too long.
Where they were like, we need more populism, more aggression.
Ooh, that's quiet.
More overt racism. Like, we need to be much worse, basically. You guys remember that?
It
started with Rush Limbaugh, as so many bad things did. I think we might be getting near that point with the Democrats.
Was, he's correct here in saying that the Tea Party movement was proto-manga, just more mask-off fascist and white supremacist elements of the Republican Party, angry that people like George W. Bush and even Ronald Reagan would abstain from directly engaging with political topics such as overt racism, union busting, sexism, and homophobia, and also bastardizing the word of God to justify their worldviews. That's 100% correct that the Tea Party movement started like that. Like I said, I agree with Vaush 90% of the time, but we gonna get to it.
Democrats now. I talked about this a lot yesterday because, like, the Democrats have failed us immensely. The Democrats gave Republicans. So the Democrats over Biden's term did not go after Trump. They allowed Trump to continue to walk free, even though
I give them all this. This is true.
Absolutely could have buried him in legal pressure. They just chose not to over January 6th. They just thought like the public should decide.
Everything
or whatever.
Here he's saying
they
true.
gave
right.
the Supreme Court to Trump by way of losing to him prior by fronting Hillary Clinton. They gave both halves of Congress. They've given him the presidency, and now they've backed off completely. When was the last time you heard something from Biden? Nope, he's gone. When was the last time you heard something from Kamala Harris? Nope, she's gone. Good night, y'all. Fucking literally, you lose. Goodbye. We're just like empty, vacuous politicians. Remember how active Donald Trump was even after January 6th failed? You'd think like Donald Trump would have run to the edges of the earth after that. Like failed insurrection, turned on by his own party for a time. The Democrats didn't capitalize on it, and then Biden gets inaugurated. But nope, Trump never stopped. And look what it turned out to be. Look how that happened. My argument from yesterday and now today, like the only path forward is infinite attention. It's just them talking into a microphone. The attention that Trump gets has always been through his ability to talk into a microphone. If power to change public opinion, he has to say about that.
Any reaction to the dropping of the charges against Eric Adams?
No reaction at this point in time. The people of New York City will make a determination as to who is best positioned to lead the city of New York forward.
Now, I want you to imagine this, okay? I want you to imagine that a powerful local Republican, like a governor of a major Republican state, because this is New York City here. So let's say like the governor of Florida, okay, had corruption charges brought against him back in 2021. And then the DOJ dropped them. And in exchange, the Republican governor not only announced a bunch of left-wing policy, but also allowed the Democrats to run the state more directly, and said that he and his officials would no longer criticize Democrats. And then you went up to any Republican and asked them how they felt about that. That motherfucker would be torn apart.
He's correct there, too.
Republicans threaten to primary their own people if they disagree with Elon on anything. The Democrats won't even turn on people who have already drank with Judas. Like Hakeem, there is apparently no line where Hakeem Jeffries is willing to rein in his own party. There is literally no point after which he will go, oh no, I think we should have some kind of standard within our... Hate Hakeem Jeffries, but a lot of other people do as well. Me hating him, that's not new. Yeah, here you go. The comments underneath this interview. Usually John's podcast episodes give me food for thought. This time it helped lull me into an afternoon power nap. My God, this can't be the future of Democratic leadership. Criticizing him for his healthcare policy. Bernie interview amazing. AOC interview inspiring. This interview painful. Establishment Dems clearly don't have a plan. Let me save you an hour. John politely points out it appears the
well, I guess I'm gonna just get straight into what I want to say about this take that Democrats are quote unquote not doing enough. Democrats are quote unquote abstaining. Democrats are quote unquote out of power. Democrats are out of power in the United States of America right now in all three branches of government. Not just because Democrats, have bad policy and are not populist enough to appeal to the American working class, but it's also America has freaking problems. I can't hire censors yet. Has freaking problems with fascism, problems with white supremacy, and problems with anti-intellectualism. Let's paint a picture of America. See, my problem with people like Vaush and Hasan, Piker, they paint this picture that America is this place full of people. If they just read the right article or hear the right video or listen to the right politician, perhaps Bernie Sanders or something like that, or some other left-wing politician, that they would change their mind. These guys are not actually on the ground interacting with the abhorrent, anti-intellectual, ignorant, King Saul loving population of the United States of America that enabled Donald Trump and all these Republican bastards to office. Let's break down the voter roll. First of all, you got a lot of white Americans, not all of them, that are functionally just American fascists and white supremacists who are scared of black people or immigrants or gay people and women, obviously. So they vote Republican because they take love in seeing the disenfranchisement of people under them, and they paint a picture of fake economic populism and hard-working American spirit over it, even though the main thing that these Republican white voters are trying to do is maintain white supremacy. A lot of these people cannot be convinced necessarily until it hits their asses, because I think I'm past the 1 minute mark. We start cussing a little bit now, but point being is just like, these people only learn their lesson when they are hit hard by some stupid economic policy that hurts them. It kind of reminds me of the guy that's being made fun of right now going on the internet, the farmer whose subsidy or something like that or deal was built into the Inflation Reduction Act. He voted for Trump for all those other reasons, and I'm 100% sure it was he loves economic inequality, he loves tax breaks, and he loves his bigotry. So he voted Republican not because he was misinformed, because he wanted to hurt people and stay on top of others. And then on top of those people, you got 52-year-old musty-ass black Uncle Toms who vote Republican because they want a 19-year-old girlfriend when he's missing a third of his fucking teeth and his breath smells like used dildos. So we got those people too, your overt aligned white supremacists and fascists. And then you also got your conspiracy theorists that's these hippie woo dipshit tinfoil hat a-holes that voted and enabled this to the White House because they're saying like Trump is gonna and I'm making fun of you Dr. Umar fans, you Hoteps, you Hebrew Israelite, you assholes. Oh, he's gonna expose to you Cube and drink the juice from the moon, and he's gonna show the black, he's gonna be the lead, the guy that shows black people the way, you know, saying all this dumbass bullshit, these conspiracy theories, this esoteric fascist nonsense that leads us to fucking nowhere. Like the Jake Angelique or John, whatever his name is, video I went over a couple weeks back. Those are the type of people that's voting. And there's a special section for all the leftists that voted third party or didn't vote at all. I got you in a second. We got motherfuckers in America that think like, bro, I'm a hit on DraftKings, so I ain't really worrying about it. You got all these people I just named, your white American white supremacists, your black misogynist white supremacist allies and conspiracy theorists that don't, it's not that they don't understand or that they don't want to understand, because it's been many times in public where or at work, I done spoken to people about how capitalism and white supremacy and a propaganda forwarded by billionaires is pushed forward to divide and hurt people and get people to vote against their own interests. But the majority of Americans don't care. We have a lot of Americans are hard-headed and they have a soft ass. And just like the farmer I talked about earlier, we are not gonna learn until, you know, people hit their head a couple of times, unfortunately, and we all got to go head first with them, unfortunately. The driving force behind why this motherfucker would get into office twice goes far beyond Democrats not being radical enough. People literally don't want to read policy and was going around, you foundational black American dumbasses, she's not really black, she's Indian, when she's half black and half Indian and was born in America. It has the affect of a black woman. It was more qualified, worked in government years longer than Trump, and had actual policies that could have actually helped with economic relief. Was the policies perfect and could they be more radical? Sure. But at the same time, these people heard her policies. A lot of you, including Vaush and Hasan Piker, said she was boring, and then or said Joe Biden was old, because it seemed like sometimes y'all niggas think that politics is supposed to be fucking theater. Politics is not theater. It's not gonna be some politician on stage screaming and yelling and saying everything that we want to motherfucking hear. A president, a lot of the time, especially a good one like Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Bill Clinton, boring depending on your definition, or Jimmy Carter, is gonna be fucking boring. It's gonna be an old man. It's not gonna be somebody on a picket line every fucking day. And y'all can accept that, because I feel like a lot of left-wingers, especially those that don't have a dog in this fight, that actually has to go out here and make money, actually understands that it's a huge, when you are a working class American, there's a huge difference, you know, especially a working class minority, when a Democrat is in office and when a Republican is in office. It's crazy, bro. And then you got all these dumbasses last election, and I'm making fun of all y'all, you fucking trans girl, furry, asexual pet girl motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm going there. Who was like, well, Gaza, Killer Kamala, and Genocide Joe, so I'm not gonna vote. And Trump is wonderful on human rights for trans people, isn't he? We be trying to tell y'all dumbasses, but y'all don't want to fucking listen, because again, y'all think politics is theater. And we live in a country of hard-headed assholes. And Vaush and Hasan and all the rest of these motherfucking others on the left, because I define myself as a socialist, but it seems like other socialists, communists, and anarchists are fucking hard-headed. Because we can never take our country back. We can never even propose policies that are more radical if people are not voting correctly down ballot. I think I skipped it when Hakeem Jeffries was pissed off because he said that even down ballot, you know, Democrats don't have a lot of ways to resist. And they don't, because they don't have the votes. They don't have the political power, because y'all didn't just fuck up the presidency. Y'all fucked up all up and down ballot. Which is insane. And like I said, a lot of people did not vote for Trump because he has something better. A lot of people are simply racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, greedy, ignorant, half-wit motherfuckers. And these people, including the leftist cat girls and cat boys that voted along with these motherfuckers that got us in the situation that we in, should be derided, made fun of, ridiculed, and mocked, not coddled. I'm not gonna step past these motherfuckers that didn't vote or help vote that motherfucker in office and pretend like they didn't have a hand in what's going on here. Cause it's clear, you know, cause it's not really Vaush, cause Vaush wasn't a nigga that was saying don't vote. You know, but this rhetoric leads to people not voting. This leads to people not trusting in the system. And this leads to people not caring. Not to mention the fact, outside of the things that Vaush, Hasan, or other, you know, leftists would say, is also the fact that I don't even think Bernie Sanders could have won this election. Because no matter how radically good the policies that a politician has, motherfuckers still gonna vote against their own interests. While people like us try to tell, you know, Americans about, you know, Republicans don't really care about you. Racism, homophobia, etc. is a tool. Women actually do have it hard. You know, trans people are 4 times more likely to be victims of SA than they are to be the perpetrators. And motherfuckers don't care. And they give you a rant about how they know a boxing match where some trans woman fought a cis girl. And then you gotta clear up and debunk that. And then the most you would get out of motherfuckers is that they will agree to disagree. America has a problem with far-right tendencies and fucking greed. It's a lot of motherfuckers that voted Republican this time because they were like some, well, Democrats were like cracking down on like the crypto, and I'm going to get rich off crypto one day. So, you know, I just whipped for Trump. That's the country of people that we living in. We are underestimating the stupidity of the average American that won't read policy, that won't educate themselves, that won't live past your bigotry, that won't be better people because they are probably benefiting from the social caste that as we know it today. And that's from the white supremacist white people to the Uncle Toms to the conspiracy theorists to the leftist performative arts dumbasses. And by performative arts major, I'm not making fun of the actual major. I'm making fun of the fact that they didn't vote to be performative. And literally last week, Trump was talking about turning Gaza into a fucking resort. I hope you got what you wanted. Democrats are feeling really punished right now. When at the end of the day, when they don't win, we are the motherfuckers on the ground suffering. And it's like I came up with a comparison in my head, because you'll have somebody like Hakeem Jeffries that'll be like, look, we're gonna pay tax breaks for people who have to pay for daycare and child care, and we're gonna raise the minimum wage by 50 cents. That's not good enough. We don't care. That's not radical enough for us. We don't want to vote for him. He's boring. And then you have some motherfucker like Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about Jewish space lasers, promoting anti-black racism, talking about we're thugs and a bunch of rioters and looters. And you have a bunch of fucking musty-ass emo kids talking about, black kids talking about some, well, I vote Republican, I agree with Trump. I don't think racism is like really real. And like, I don't listen to rap music and I'm like special. Those are the motherfuckers that are enabling this shit. It's bigotry and greed in this country. And people are hard-headed and they have the mentality of wanting a King Saul to lead this country. Because he didn't win for no reason. When that lady got up there all those times, bro, like to the point towards the end when she was getting tired. I was getting tired on TikTok. Telling motherfuckers about the policy proposal that she made to stop price gouging. $50K if you start a business. Increasing the child tax credit. No, these motherfuckers didn't care about that. You wanna know what the fuck they care about? Is making R-ing your wife legal. Keeping blacks out of white neighborhoods. That's what motherfuckers cared about this election. And that's why we are the position that we're in. And I feel like America is at a reckoning now where a lot of, you know, metaphorically, we're getting a spanking. But all of us got to take the ass whooping, unfortunately. But that's what's happening. And I refuse to sit up here and act like, you know, because I'm just a regular ass nigga, right? I have a regular job, but I read, I study, I understand policy, I listen to rhetoric. And most Americans don't want to do that, or they are doing it, but they're so full of their own bigotry and greed that they vote against their own interests. And I feel like we need to start criticizing voters directly instead of always blaming the Democrats for every little thing that goes wrong in this country. Because he didn't win by accident. People voted for that nigga. Motherfuckers didn't go vote. Because a lot of these people are so full of themselves, so full of hatred, so full of greed, so full of willful ignorance, where sometimes it doesn't matter what topic you discuss with these people, these other Americans that I've been on the ground with. There's some video, by the way, of me floating around arguing with some Hebrew Israelites in downtown Detroit on the Riverwalk when I was skateboarding, by the way. You can go check that out and see what the fuck I'm talking about. Where I'm literally screaming at these people, hey, the problem in America is rich capitalists and white supremacists working together to oppress working class people and minorities. No, that's not what's really going on. That's fake. What it really is some anti-Semitic bullshit. And then you got motherfuckers in the comment, this brother is like lost. And I'm sorry, as a working class person that's on the ground a lot, this shit has me to the point where I don't even make friends anymore. Because this is who a lot of people are. Racist, sexist, homophobic, bigoted, class trading assholes. And the American working class needs a reckoning about the motherfuckers that they're voting for and the shit that they're promoting. Because keep in mind, they did. Americans didn't just fuck up the presidency. They fucked up down ballot. Because a lot of these people that voted that way wanted to hurt somebody. Because they couldn't see past themselves to preserve the human rights of people that live or look different than them. Or they gotta buy into some dipshit conspiracy, the Yakubian master of the sun and the spirit of the core that Trump is gonna spread throughout the lands. That's what we're dealing with, bro. That's shit we're dealing with. And it's like, you can't blame them for that. For motherfuckers not wanting to listen. Like, look at Hispanics for Trump, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna deport a lot of people. He's not gonna deport me. My abuela, she's not a criminal. She's safe. People black. Oh, they're just gonna hire people on black on merit. You're fired, Negro. No more DEI. Well, I'm a gay Republican, and well, we don't want F slurs in our party. And these people are happen to learn the hard way. As it gets more expensive, as we rely more and more on each other and the power within ourselves, and we watch Trump the economy up, people are going to realize what to do in 4 years. They're going to hopefully make the right decision. I doubt it. Because it's not that I don't have faith that people can improve, or that I think that I'm the exception to the rule where I used to think a certain way and I can't better myself and become more politically savvy because I'm just a regular guy. I know anybody else can. But when you, like, y'all literally discuss people, don't get me wrong, the ideologues, right? Like Shapiro, Vaush, Kirk, Fuentes, you know, James Alsup, dumbass, Stryker, Jack Posobi, crackhead, and Tim Pool, these assholes, their opinions are not meant to change because they are ideologues meant to pervert narratives and move America towards fascism. But the average American is also very similar to these people, ironically enough. And it's like other problems, you know, don't get me wrong, like billionaires pushing right-wing content in the algorithm, you know, stuff like that. But I refuse to just blame the DNC and say that they are 100% failing on their messaging. Like, I don't expect, and it's like, even if, bro, they were to come out and say that, okay, we're a new Democratic Party, and by Democratic, we means worker democracy, and we are now a communist party. You think Americans are going to stop voting Democrat then? No! Because motherfuckers don't care. They care more about holding on to their bigotry than seeing the world be a better place. But hopefully after this reckoning that we deal with the past 4 years, people will know what to do. And it also reminds me of some shit. Like, I knew something was wrong when I was working in a plant with somebody that made less than I did. Talking about something they're going to vote for Trump. Talking about that, oh, we got like the stimmies. You know that one? That's an infamous one in the black community, where checks that weren't approved of by Republicans that he last minute held back, made late, so he could put his sorry ass names on them. And they're giving Trump the credit, talking about he improved the economy. You forgot the pandemic where millions of people were unalive because Trump mismanaging the economy? That's why we were out of work. Not because Trump said, okay, I'm just going to do a stay-home order and give everybody $800 a week. He caused a natural disaster to get worse. And it's a lot of people not here that seem just fine in 2018. So yeah, man, stop blaming the Democrats for everything. The American people, again, to sum up what I'm saying, have a problem with white supremacy, homophobia, sexism, transphobia, and greed. And that's why they keep leading these motherfuckers from at least Nixon all the way up to Trump to the ballot box. It's not a coincidence. People don't want to listen because people are so self-absorbed and self-interested and not willing to work, within the system to make things better for themselves, even if it means a gay person can't get married to their partner. So off with this shit where everything is Hakeem Jeffries' fault, because it's really not.